The tomb was cold and silent, deep beneath the earth of Nishapur. For centuries, the body of Omar Khayyam had lain undisturbed, his poems scattered like rose petals across time, his spirit caught between worlds. Then, on a night when the moon hung full and silver, a figure materialized in the darkness.
Omar Khayyam, poet, philosopher, lover of wine and wisdom. Your time in the earth is ended.
Where am I?
Still caught between death and life, but not for long. I'm taking you to the land of Elfin.
Elfin. I wrote of paradise, of gardens and houris, but I never believed half? What do you mean half?
You were always between worlds, Omar. Between faith and doubt, wine and prayer, earth and heaven. Now you'll discover why. Come. Dawn approaches and we must fly.
She took his hand, and the tomb dissolved around them. Omar gasped as his feet left solid ground. The world spun beneath them, gravestones and cypress trees giving way to open sky.
This is madness. I'm falling.
You're flying. There's a difference. Hold tight. You remember the verses.
I'm living them. On down to a dreamy amethystine floor of waves lapping a mysterious shore.
Halfway, staggered betwixt earth and heaven, was to know the ecstasy of flying.
With the added touch of danger given, I spent my life writing about wine and roses, and here I am crossing the roiling cataracts running between worlds.
Spring's fever was as a long burnished horn, trailing the wild music of adventure behind me, like banners of aerial brass.
Driving me on and through the impossible.
Yes, through the impossible. That's exactly where we're going.
Music. As I neared waterfalls of splashing rains, floating up to me came soft music strains. Silken and caressing, sirens singing, as though the sea itself sang a welcome. In all my years, I never imagined, is this paradise? Is this the garden I wrote about?
It's something older, something that existed before your scriptures and mine. Watch.
The sea swallowed the sun, the moon to light. Twilight lifting up her heavy silk skirt, revealing a paradise of chiffons that swayed and glided in a mystical dance.
Who are they?
It was thus that the fountain sprites were dancing to the moon on the Arabian sands, that the nixies shook their white limbs on the haunted, deep forested banks of the Rhine, that the wee fairy women flashed their alabaster feet on the hills of Connemara,
That the houris were dancing for Omar on nature's palace floor of paradise.
Yes, for you, Omar. This has always been for you.
But why? Why me?
Because you felt it, even when you were mortal. You wrote about wine and roses, because you were trying to capture what you could never quite touch, the living presence of nature herself.
And now?
There's e'er an aching sense of incomplete oneness with glorious Lady Nature. Human desire for some responsive embodiment of her mysterious beauty. Now, you'll meet her.
Zara led Omar away from the shore, into the forest where the spirits danced. With each step, he felt the ache in his chest grow stronger, not painful, but intense, like a string being tuned to perfect pitch.
There are those ecstatic moments in which nature seems just on the tremulous verge of sending to us her magic answer. During moments of intense reverie, I had those moments when I was alive, standing in gardens at dawn or walking in the desert at night. Moments when the woods seem about to reveal to us the inner heart of their outward silence.
In some sudden change to revealing shape of unimaginable enchantment. On this infinite of the starry night, as the stardust we and our help derived takes its universal form at our side in some companionable radiance.
You're speaking in riddles now.
No riddles, only truth. You are made of stardust, Omar, and so is she. Nature grants me her marvels in this forest, enchanted from below and sparkled above. And from the moonlit sea arrives a shape, shining along the beam's silver pathway.
What are you?
I am what you've always sought, the embodiment you ached for, the responsive beauty you could never quite touch.
I gazed into her glowing eyes that were as of a fathomless moonlight sea, while her long, sparkling hair fell about me like a net of moonbeams, enrapturing.
You were always writing about me. In your quatrains, you called me wine, you called me rose, you called me the beloved. But you were always writing about me.
I was writing about beauty, about the divine and the earthly.
You were writing about the ache, the longing for connection with the living world, the desire to touch what could only be observed. In this hour of closest approach to her, yes, this is our hour, Omar. The moment when the veil lifts completely, and now you can touch. She lay like the moon herself come to ground, to the passionate lover of nature, the anchorite of all her solitudes.
The mystery of the moonlit sea is in my arms, no longer a distant wonder, but an embodied elemental spirit, Earth's missing link between angel and human.
I'm becoming mortal for you, leaving the sea to walk on land, leaving eternity to share your time.
Why? Why would you give up immortality?
Because love is the greatest magic. Because you've waited centuries for this meeting. Because I've been lonely too, singing to the waves, dancing for the moon, always observed but never truly seen.
I see you.
And I see you. The poet who understood that paradise isn't a place we go to after death, but a state we create through connection, through love, through the marriage of spirit and flesh, nature and human, sea and shore.
As dawn approached, the first true dawn Omar had seen since his death, the spirit's transformation completed. Her moonlit glow faded to warm skin. Her flowing hair became silken strands of deepest black.
I can feel it, mortality, time flowing through me like water through cupped hands.
Are you afraid?
No, I'm alive, truly alive for the first time, with limits and endings and beautiful, precious brevity.
What do I call you?
In the sea, I had no name. The waves don't need names.
The land of Elfin is yours to explore. A garden waiting where you can plant your roses, pour your wine. The greatest paradise is simply your presence together.
It's perfect. And you? Are you still Omar Khayyam the poet? Or someone new?
I'm still Omar, but reborn. Born again from within, as Zara promised. Half mortal, half something else. Half earth, half heaven.
And wholly mine?
Wholly yours.
Zara reappeared as the sun fully rose, her djinni form shimmering in the morning light.
A garden waiting. The one you wrote about. The one you always imagined. But now you can create it yourself. Not as a promise of afterlife, but as a reality of this life, this rebirth.
Together?
Together. A poet who understood the divine in nature, and nature herself made flesh. Plant your roses, Omar. Pour your wine. But know that the greatest paradise you'll create is simply your presence together. The houris dancing on nature's palace floor were always just her. One woman. One embodiment of all the beauty you sought.
No pressure then.
I spent my whole first life searching for you, writing about you, aching for you. I won't waste a moment of this second life.
Good. Because I have centuries of sea songs to teach you, and you have centuries of poetry to write. About us. About this. About the magic of the world when you finally stop observing and start living.
Then my work here is done. I brought you through the impossible, Omar. Now the possible is yours to create.
Zara, thank you. For the flight, for the rebirth, for bringing me to her.
Thank you for teaching mortals to seek the divine in roses and wine, in beauty and earth. You were always half Jinni in spirit, Omar. Now you're whole.
Months passed, or perhaps years. Time moved differently in the land of Elfin. Omar and Marjana created their garden on the border between forest and sea. Two halves made whole, born again from within, and finally, completely alive. One evening, as they sat together watching the sun sink into the sea and the moon rise to take its place, Marjana spoke.
Do you miss your old life? Your old death?
Not for a moment. I spent my first life writing about the ephemeral nature of beauty, trying to capture it before it fled. Now I understand. Beauty isn't something to capture. It's something to become.
By loving it?
By joining with it. By becoming the embodied answer to the ache. You're not separate from the beauty of the sea and stars and forest. You're made of them. And now, so am I.
Read me your new verses.
They're not as clever as the old ones. Less wine, more wonder.
Perfect. Read them anyway.
And so he did, his voice carrying across the garden as the spirits danced in the forest and the sea sang its eternal song.